My 14 older brother, 17, has nocturnal epilepsy. My mom watches him like a hawk. She even has one of those baby monitors so she can check on him without getting up. My brother takes a med called vimpat, which has no side effects on him. I don't speak for everyone though. But my mom blames everything that's wrong with him on that. He is about average in school, B's and C's, which is his own fault. He is really smart, he just doesn't ever study, and he gets in arguments with teachers because he doesn't want to do his homework. Basically my whole life is themed around him. I got straight A's, but instead of a reward, my mom pulled me aside and asked me not to say anything because she didn't want to make my brother feel bad. My mom babies him constantly, he knows nothing of the real world. I'm not saying I'm a child genius, but at least I can name all 7 continents. And yes, he has been tested for learning disabilities, and he's completely fine. He's nice most of the time, but he gets really mean sometimes for no reason. He also never remembers to take his meds, and it's my job to make sure. I do stuff for him on the daily, like for some reason he always wants to take the bus to school. I don't because there's a bunch of creepy dudes from my school on that bus, and it makes me really uncomfortable. I have to ride the bus with him because I have to make sure he stays awake. But he never tries to stay awake, and whenever I try to wake him up he yells at me. Last night I was talking to my mom and she said she's so lucky to have a responsible daughter to take care of him when he moves out. I kinda laughed and said that there's no way I'm taking care of him. Apparently my mom wants to rent an apartment for us when I go to college so I can watch him and make sure he takes his meds. But honestly I cannot wait to get away from my family. I love them, but we honestly don't fit well, and I think I'll be better off alone. But my mom got really angry and said of course I'm gonna take care of him, but I said that he really doesn't need to be taken care of because millions of people around the world live with what he has and do it alone. Now my mom is super pissed at me and called me a selfish idiot. Am I the idiot? I strongly recommend the following. 1. Tell an adult you trust what is happening. That could be your doctor, a counselor, or someone else you trust. 2. Refuse to care for your brother and stop being responsible for his medications. 3. Ask for counseling. Your mom is manipulating you with guilt to make you a caregiver. That's completely wrong. A counselor will help you cope with all this and be more comfortable saying no and setting boundaries with your mom. I'm so sorry they put you in this position. You're right to refuse to take care of your brother now and in the future. He is not your child. He is your brother. You did not give birth to him, your mother did. Either she teaches him to take his medication or he ends up dealing with the consequences. If she wants to force herself to care for him then she better deal with it. You're not his mother, you're not his babysitter or any of that. So feel free to move out when you can and tell them to back off. Not the idiot. I have a child with special needs, he will need lifelong care. I've made it very clear to his brother that he is to go and live his own life and not feel he has to look after his sibling. I'm the parent, he's my responsibility, and I will arrange care, probably a group home, for after I'm gone. My non-special needs child has the right to a life of their own, and so do you. You're not selfish at all, and your brother is not your responsibility. I'm sorry your mom doesn't see that. Go live your life, and good luck to you. I, 47, have 2 children, Luke, 21, and Scarlett, 19, fake names, and I have a real estate company that makes $5-10 million a year, also have some assets and shares, so we are in an extremely privileged position with a simple lifestyle. We live in a middle-class neighborhood, neither me or nor my children have last model stuff, I still drive a 2010 sedan etc. We only spend money a lot when we are traveling. I am also a single dad, we lost my late wife when Scarlett was 6 years old. Luke is really bad with money, and it is not his fault, he does not understand the concept of it other than he should not finish his monthly income in 5 days. This also happened, and he is a really musically talented kid. He currently plays cello in our city orchestra, and he has a bachelor in music. Also he works as an instructor for gifted children in music. When he turned 18, I appointed a financial advisor for his assets at my company and managed the properties he owns. I made sure that even he could not manage his job as a professional cellist, he will live comfortably, and I am really proud, and to be honest, a little bit jealous of him. His talent threshold is really high, and I think world will hear his name in 10 years. Scarlett, on the other hand, is a financial genius, even better than me. She was interested in the work of the company from age 12, worked as an assistant in my company since high school, she was paid and had a manager and was treated equal as her colleagues, also pursuing an academics, and she has been an essential in our executive meetings since age 17. My employees really love her and respect her as a colleague. And as a financial guru. Scarlett turned 18 and I also asked him that does she want a financial advisor and she said no, thanks. She is currently in second year and even with COVID, she is still growing her assets while studying economics at college and helping us to manage the company. 3 months ago, there was a big siblings reunion on my side. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, without the kids, and when they asked me about what kids are doing, I told Scarlett was working with me and Luke was in the city's orchestra, etc. Then my smaller sister asked, "You had a financial advisor for Scarlett, right?" I said no, she did not want it and she does not need it. All hell broke loose. They accused me of praising Scarlett too much and not trusting Luke on any issue. The only one defended me was my older brother, saying that Luke was really financially deaf-toned and he needed help. They still call me on the issue and trying to guilt-trip me. My son cannot care less about the issue, and my daughter burst into laughter when I called her about this. Not the idiot. Neither child is upset and it seems like you were completely fair. Luke wants to work in music, but you still have him covered. Scarlett wants to work in finances and knows what she is doing. They are both happy with the arrangement and well looked after. I honestly don't know why your family even thought they had the right to get involved. Tell them to get out and that they are being extremely inconsiderate to not consider A. Your children's feelings over their own, B. That both your children are completely happy with the arrangement. The only thing that matters is how your children feel about this. It sounds like your son is benefiting from having an advisor in a way that your daughter wouldn't. That said, she's still only young, so I might suggest that you get her to check in with a financial advisor about strategies, etc., on an annual basis. Not because she might fritter the money away, but just to make sure she is supported by a professional. Even if they just agree with her, it sounds as if it's an affordable expense for your family. The only thing I would suggest is that maybe see if Scarlett will agree to work with a financial advisor as an educational experience. Learning more in different ways to do the same thing is never a bad thing. She may be growing her assets well enough on her own, but she may learn something from a financial advisor that she wouldn't have found out on her own. You seem to be doing a great job with your children and care about their growth as people. I, 26, technically stole my dad's business idea. When I first heard it from him, it was so simple yet so genius. I can't say exactly what it is here, but it was genius. The thing is, me and my dad, 55, are complete opposites. He's the more introverted and quiet type. He's always been very intelligent, but he's lacked the ability to get things done. I've been told I'm more like my granddad, 75, my dad's dad. Physically, I look more like my granddad, but personality-wise, I guess I'm a bit more impulsive and hot-headed and not as intelligent as my dad, but I get things done. Perhaps I'm more traditional masculine than my dad. It's like I should be in the older generation and he should be from the newer one. When I heard my dad's business idea, I was amazed, but I didn't truly believe my dad could pull it off. He doesn't get things done. He's always been full of great ideas, but ideas not put to use are useless. So, I took the idea and ran with it. I got IP rights and started the business with it 2 years ago. Since then, it's been a massive success. Not millions or anything, but into the 6 figures, and the potential to make millions is there perhaps in the next half-decade if things keep going well. My dad was very upset when I did this, but didn't say much. I could tell by his facial expressions. My mom, 55, said I've done her proud and done the right thing. Well, I confronted my dad yesterday to ask him how he feels, and he said I'm a freaking idiot. He said he felt betrayed by me and nearly started crying. I told him straight, you've always been a man of ideas, but I'm a man of action. Then my sister, 28, walks in and starts saying crap to me, defending my dad. Both my mom and granddad have taken my side. I even offered my dad 20% of all profits, but he rejected and told me to get out. I understand why he's upset, but I think he's being unreasonable here. Am I the idiot? You're the idiot. I don't exactly think you're like this, but you sound like the friend that takes opportunities from people instead of encouraging them to do it. Like you use the "I'm a man and I get crap done" or "a real man does this" spiel a lot. You didn't technically steal it, you did steal it. You, rightly or not, assumed your dad wouldn't do anything about it and decided to take it from yourself and didn't give him any credit whatsoever. You know it's your dad's idea, so why not just partner with him? Brains and brawn coming together. Both for your actions and the way you seem to look down on your dad while lionizing your traditionally masculine grandfather. You wouldn't even have a business without your father's contribution, and instead of cutting him in, he could have non-voting shares or some equivalent. You ignored him. Instead of lauding him for your success, you dismiss him. When he gets another great idea, being more intelligent than you are, he sure as hell isn't going to tell you about it. While I see your point about wanting to give a result to his ideas, I feel you should have given him due credit for his contributions, ideas, thoughts. In all fairness, you should be giving him intellectual property rights since it was his brainchild, and clearly he feels strongly about it. In the interest of the family, I would suggest you offer an olive branch and bridge the trust issue between you guys. Businesses come and go. A father is forever. Hope you can work things out. My ex-husband and I have been married for 2 years 10 years ago. He had a child from his previous relationship who was 2 years old when we got together, 3 when we married, and 5 years old when we divorced. My ex was the kid's only parent. The mother died in a car accident about a year before we met. Our marriage was okay, but not great, and the issues we had eventually lead to our divorce. During our marriage we had a discussion about whether I should adopt his son, but my ex didn't want me to, saying that if we divorced that would make things difficult. When we divorced, he told me he did not want me to be in contact with him or his child, saying that staying in contact will make it difficult for him to move on. I consulted with lawyers, who essentially told me I had no rights to contact with his child after divorce, seeing as I was not legally related to the child. It was not easy, but I moved on. Then about 5 years ago, I met my current husband. My current husband and I moved to another country 3 years ago, and last year we had a child, which brings us to the current moment. About 3 weeks ago I was contacted by my ex-husband's mother, who found my contact information through some of our mutual acquaintances. As it turned out, my ex died earlier this year. She then proceeded to tell me that she was calling to ask me to adopt his child. I was very much taken aback by the request. I knew from mutual acquaintances that my ex remarried and was still married upon his death, so it seemed logical to me that his widow should be the one to take care of his child. Or his parents should. Turns out ex-mother-in-law did not follow the same logic. She proceeded to tell me how his widow does not want to be taking care of the child, my ex did not let her adopt the child, and that her and my ex-father-in-law cannot take care of the child because they are old and do not have the money, which I'm pretty sure is not true. They are quite wealthy. So, my ex-mother-in-law's genius solution is that I should be the one to take in the child. I absolutely do not want to do it. There are 3 adults in this child's life who should be taking care of him, his father's widow, and his grandparents, which is what I told my ex-mother-in-law, who seemed very offended at my comment. She tried to plead with me some more, but I told her that I will not change my mind. Am I the idiot? So, your ex-mother-in-law wants to hand the kid off to someone who lives in another country, has not had contact with the kid for years, and who her son had previously denied any parental rights and the obligations that come along with that. Then she tries to guilt you because you won't let her offload her responsibilities on you, who haven't had the benefit of any relationship with the child or, it seems, the rest of the family for years. No, you are definitely not the idiot here. Not the idiot. Truly, it would probably do more harm than good for his ex-stepmother to become his maternal figure again. He last saw you when he was 5, it would be like a random couple adopting a random kid. It was his father's responsibility to ensure that there was someone to take care of his child if he died. No one likes to think about death until they are already dead. Re-entering his life now just seems like it just hurt the kid psychologically. Granted, he's 15, so he probably understands how divorce and child custody works in some capacity, so I doubt he'd be mad at you for leaving him in the past. Your ex literally told you that he wanted you to have no contact with the child. As a result, you're a stranger to this child, who is now a preteen. You also now live in a foreign country. Going with you seems like it would be against the father's wishes and against the best interest of the child and fairly impractical. The child should go to their father's family, their mother's family, or to the widow's family. All of those people should have had more contact with the child and are closer to them. I, 17, currently live in my father's house. My brothers, 13 and 11, live there too. I've always had a great bond with my mother, but she died about 2 years ago, which deeply traumatized me. Half a year later, my dad started to date someone else. Let's call her Elise, 32, she's currently living at our place as well. Don't get me wrong, Elise is not a bad person. My brothers really needed someone to cling to, and she really takes good care for them. She makes dad smile again. However, she is a lot more controlling than my mom was. I am quite independent, do chores around the house, have friends and go out etc. But she insists that I should follow her rules, to be home at a certain time etc. I don't like that. I'm used to have more freedom and am actually planning to move out next year. I don't want to risk losing my friends over her controlling behavior. I am respectful towards her, trying not to pick a fight, but she's not someone I would want to share my feelings with. She also insists that I call her mom like my brothers do, but I refuse. For me, there was only one mother in my life and calling Elise mom just feels wrong, as if I'm forgetting my real mom. I also feel like, if I call her mom I would accept that she has authority over me, but I never chose this person, my dad did. My dad just wants everyone to get along and live a happy new family, but is afraid of confrontation and in general just lacks a spine. He also doesn't like it if anyone mentions my real mom, so I can barely talk to him about her. Elise has called me an unruly teenager multiple times. When I got home late she gets angry. Among other things, she's told me at times that I refuse to accept her even though she's trying, that I am the one thing stopping this family from being happy again. That I'm confusing my brothers by refusing to call her mom, which I doubt. I told her she should accept that I'm not a kid, that I'm still getting over the loss of someone she hasn't even met. That the only mom I ever had is not here anymore and that if anyone could set rules on me, it would be my dad. One time when she was furious she told me to get over it already. I told her go to hell herself, she has no idea what I went through. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's utterly wrong and must be very hurtful for her to insist you call her mom. If your dad isn't doing his bit to set boundaries, then I can understand that she might want to do that. But at 17, you are basically an adult and it should be a discussion, not a set of rules. Your dad should take the lead. Is there someone in your life you can talk to about your mom? An aunt, uncle, or grandparent? 2 years is not a long time and you need to share your memories in a healthy way. I am so sorry for your loss. She is unbelievable. Why the hell would you call her mom? And confusing your younger siblings. What'll be confusing for them is when her and your dad break up. Sounds like everyone could benefit from some therapy. Especially you and your dad together. Maybe that would help him understand where you're coming from and help him deal with losing your mom. Sounds like he hasn't dealt with it if he won't even talk about her. Good luck to you. Is your dad okay with all of this? This woman that he has only been dating for a year and a half is requesting his kids call her mom after his wife died 2 years ago. Also, you're 17 and will be going to college, I'm assuming, soon and moving out. She can't expect you to just forget your mom. This is not a situation where your mom died when you were very young and she raised you. In my opinion, she has no right to request something like that of you. Talk to your dad and tell him how you feel.